Hey guys, Chris here. I want to do a video today on opinions and wanting to have the same opinions as other people, and for them to have the same opinions as you to have the same opinions as them. This kind of enmeshed dynamic, also of a parent as well, wanting to see the world exactly the same way, not really wanting to disagree on things, not maybe voicing opinions when there's differences. Now, as you become to individuate more on this journey, more into sovereignty, into your own person, free, you will notice that every single person's had a different life experience. You know, people go through different things. Everyone is their own person. Everyone has their own free opinion. And where you're at a point where you can't really say your own opinion, you know, that has to be a relationship that's maybe to be looked at. Of course, if you're working with someone, it's someone else, it's a client or whatever, you're in one of these other, maybe even family. Although with family, I think you want to get closer and closer and gradually tiptoe kind of to wanting to speak more authentically with them and having that relationship where you can speak more freely, because if you can speak more freely in that relationship, you're more likely to speak more freely in the rest of the world, in everyday life, and have more confidence, because the family is the foundation. But for now, we'll just focus more on friends. And I think it came to me the other night as well, when someone I noticed didn't have, wanted to have the same opinion as me, and I could just feel the energy of the person really wanting, the approval and just to agree on the same point. And it's like, well, we disagree here, let's just leave it at that. So this need to have the other person to agree with you is like wanting to be one with the person. But you have a friend and you agree on everything, you don't disagree, and the conflict feels a bit weird. It's like, this feels very uncomfortable, I don't like this feeling. But that's normal, like to have that. And the fact that it's quite a strong attachment is just something that still needs to be worked on. As particularly if you're attached to narcissistic people as well, they don't have a good reaction to people having different opinions of them. They want everyone else to have the same opinion as them. They want a sense of control. Look, I have these beliefs, and I've got a good 5-6 people around me who I'm sort of controlling, and they have the same beliefs and opinions as me, and those people who aren't really sure on their identity. We did a video about masculine identity. They attach more to these kind of people because they don't have a sense of masculine identity. We want someone to be certain about something. And you're only ever certain when you know it inside yourself. And if you can always say when people disagree, like, this is just my opinion, and there's nothing wrong with that, because that is just what is authentic. And as long as you're saying it in a clean way, by being respectful, and also just being aware that what you're saying is not offensive and it's just coming through you, I think that's fine. And then you can just leave it with the other person. But you'll start to notice these relationships drop off if you're someone who just agrees with the same thing all the time. I mean, I remember people in school who used to hang around together, and they used to just like the exact same things, and do that. They were like, but again, that was more or less one person, and they were a clone of the other person. Again, it's an element of narcissism is probably what I want to point out and to be aware of in yourself. This is all what we work for. I think through enmeshment, there is a lot of narcissistic things in there as well, sense of entitlement, which is what this is. People must believe what I believe because I'm important, I'm special. And then the final thing, I think, with parents as well, is that maybe you want to say, within a mesh relationship, you want to save your parent. You want them to be, you want to be happy. You want to have a sense of control that, okay, I've got these opinions of the world. If you have the opinions the way I do, this world is safe and it's a more happy life and blah, 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 and you won't get anxiety and you won't have this. But the parent won't have that opinion. And I think it's just about the smarter you get on this, the more you individuate and see other people as children, which is sometimes the way it is. And it's kind of crazy, even if you sort of see your parents as children, because you're the one who's, you know, they've given birth to you and they're the adult. That's where you have to flip the script sometimes as well, as a side point, and say, no, I'm the adult. You know, I've done the work, I've done the spiritual growth, I've awakened, I've done all of this. You know, they're unconscious. You know, their level of consciousness is a lot lower than mine. So why are they the powerful one, and their opinion has more value than me? And it's not to say that, I mean, it's a fine line, because you know, you don't want this spiritual ego, because you are awakening, you have got a stronger level of consciousness, but just to be aware of that and not sort of just disregard everything, because if people are seen as equal and that their opinion is equal, it can allow you to reflect and second guess what you're saying. But when you become aware of certain behaviors, again, everyone's treated as equal, everyone has their own opinion. When you're controlling someone else, or you're saying, you know, have the same opinion as me, I want you to have the same opinion as me, just be aware of that being a sense of control, and that person may be feeling a bit uncomfortable, that person not stepping into their power, or that person who might be, you know, is like trying to control you, and it's maybe a relationship you want to step away from. So I thought I'd share this video today. It's quite a longer video than I thought, on sort of opinions, but if you get triggered when someone doesn't have the same opinion as you, this is just something you can reflect on.